Welcome back to South Georgia Home. My name is Gail. I've got a little bit of a haul for you. I'm gonna try to do this fast. My husband is outside tinkering around with something. God only knows when he'll come in and interrupt us. So I went to 2 estate sales Friday, a Goodwill and an antique store. Whenever I go over there for estate sales, it's a 45-minute drive. So I try to make the most of it. I have to get chicken feed, I have to go to Walmart, but then I have to try to fit in everything else. And then I try to get home in a decent time to do what needs to be done before my husband gets home. So I went to 2 estate sales. One was run by a company that I go to all the time. I like their prices, especially on the second day. And then the other one was done, I think, by family or friends of whoever's house it was. And then, well, anyway, we'll get into it. The footage that you'll see at the beginning, that was the first house. That was the one run by the company. If you're looking to get into antique books or because you want to decorate with them or you want to read them, whatever, that house, when I went into the front room, had a pile of them on the shelves. I was looking for a certain color. I didn't have any books in green. I've got red books, black books, blue books, different colors, blues, but I didn't have any really green books. So I picked up, I said I'll get green books. There was only 2 that qualified and I wound up with 5. That's how my math works when I go to estate sales. So those books in there, we'll start with this one. I believe it's called At the Mercy of Tiberius. Yeah, by Augusta Evans Wilson. And let me see. It has a copyright of 1887. You can see, I hope you can see it in here, 1887. And then I love books. I guess it used to be a thing. There were gifts. Not that this says this is a gift, but it does have someone's name and a date, 1907. So someone wrote their name in this book, 1907, over 100 years ago. Anyway, a lot of them, I have found some that says Merry Christmas, and one of these says Merry Christmas as well. This is a Louisa May Alcott, Rose and Bloom. I like the look of the book, but it is in rough shape. The spine of it, as you can see, someone else put the tape there. I haven't. I'm thinking about putting glue in it. Like I said, I already have blue, so I don't know why I bought more blue, but yeah, it happens. Copyright, the first copyright was 1876, and that goes all the way to 1927 in there. But yeah, if I do a little repair, that's going to be okay. And then this one, just because we have so many blooming chickens around here, I think I counted 16 of my own. 2 roosters and then 14 hens. 2 of them are old hens, but they are pets. Even if they stop laying, I ain't cutting a chicken's neck off. I know they're meat birds and I don't mind eating chicken, but I ain't being the Jack the Ripper. So anyway, we've got 16 of our own, and then we're babysitting about 70, both hens and roosters that my nephew had. He's running out of space where he's at. He sells them. So we're just holding on to them until they can be sold. So there's 70 out there. So this is kind of funny. Livestock and poultry. I don't know if I'm going to read this, but I do like the look of the book. My husband, I think, is about to come in. Anyway, the copyright on it is 1925, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. So that's another blue book. All right, so we'll get to the 2 green ones that I actually needed. That Printer of Udell's, Harold Bell Wright. I never found a copyright on this one. I like the way it looks. I don't know if you can see the spine really well with the lighting, but it is a nice little green color. I like that. It is old. It doesn't have a copyright, but it does have an inscription. Like I said, a Merry Christmas inscription. And I believe it says 1911 right here. These prices don't mean anything to us. That wasn't put there by the company. And then this is the last one, Rational Living. But this is a green book that I needed. It's got like Greek symbols and all that up front. I don't know what that is, so we're not going to show that. But it has a 1916, copyright 1905, but it goes all the way to 1916. You can see it here, 1905. I don't know if you can see it, but and then right here it says 1916. So it's a nice color, nice book. I have learned to be careful about some of the books. I purchased one time at an estate sale a year or so ago just because it was an old cool book, and it was called The Sensuous Woman. I can't read that book in mixed company. I can't put it out for people to read in mixed company. So, my husband's coming in. Nope, wait, he's stopping. Nope, he's gonna stay out there. He's hooking up sprinklers right now. Anyway, I found this in there with all the old books. It was on a table. It is the official guide of the railways. And my husband likes trains. He remembers a time when he used to go to Jacksonville to visit family on the train. Just different lines: Kansas City Southern lines, Wellsville, Addison, and Gailton Railroad Corporation. Probably a lot of things that don't even exist anymore. So that was kind of cool. This was in a Foot Locker outside. I don't know if this guy taught there or if he just attended. Alabama Military Academy. And there is no copyright. It's just one of those that's stapled together, really cheaply put together. So, and then this house had as much downstairs in the basement as it had upstairs in space-wise. I'm serious. I went downstairs and it just kept going on and on. It was room after room, storage rooms. It had a bathroom, a whole bathroom with a shower and a half bath. It had a wet bar there, complete with liquor bottles. I guess this was his offices. There was a pool table. There was storage rooms off the side. Anyway, there was more books down there. My husband was a Marine in a former life in his younger years. And of course, I love World War II stuff. So the Marine Corps, World War II. Of course, a lot of theirs, Marine stuff is usually around Okinawa and, Iwo Jima. And all those names just escaped my mind. Oh, God. Anyway, he was a Marine. This is World War II. It was a no-brainer. And then I bought another one. You probably see it when I'm looking through those picture frames are on the floor. But I'm not going to show you the front of it. It's called A History of the SS. And on the front's good old Heinrich Himmler. And he's wearing a swastika on his arm. So we won't get into that. That was all the books. Now, you saw me pick this up and put it back down in the video, but I went back and got it. Stuff like this, I mean, it's not marked. It's little inconsequential stuff. Usually, second day they're trying to get rid of this stuff. You get pennies on the dollar, if not free. They just toss it in. 10 cents. I like the way it looks, and it does have some gem clips in there. So, anyway, it's really cool to me. I like old advertising and packaging. Let's see. There was a table with chickens and roosters. And I bought one. I don't like the colors. I like the way he's positioned. It's a rooster, of course. I like the way he's positioned, but I don't like the colors. So it's probably going to be a project piece. It isn't anything special. It isn't old, made in China. It's got a barcode on the bottom. But yeah, I don't particularly care for the colors. It's not bad. I mean, any other time I might like the colors, but right now it's just not my thing. So, probably a project piece. Excuse me, I've been drinking Diet Coke. Ooh. In the kitchen, there was this little box. It's a recipe box. I'm not that big on the flag, on the eagle, eagle and the stars. Not one of my favorite things. Not against it, it's just not something I like. It does say recipes, and I wonder if I can get up there. $2 was what it was on the first day. Now, that wasn't what I bought it for. I bought it for these. Handwritten, some of them typed recipes. I always look for, if you go into someone's house, if there's an old recipe book, written recipes, that kind of thing, stuff in the margin. I would kill to find a good caramel cake recipe. Around here, if anybody has a good recipe, these old Southern ladies, some of them just don't like to give up the recipe. And I've only had a few people. Some people can do a good caramel cake, some can't. But anyway, the ones that have them, they don't want to give away the recipe. So I keep looking. I don't think there's one in here, but I keep looking. All right, this is my husband. He just came in. He's gonna go take himself a shower. He's good about stopping my rhythm in mid-go. Anyway, that wasn't appropriate for me to say. I left off before I was rudely interrupted. In the same room with the old books, there was a couple of plastic totes, I think, that had wrapping supplies in it. When I sell on eBay, I try to wrap a ribbon bound stuff, especially if it's like multiple pieces. Anyway, these are some old ribbons. High sheen. This looks like one of those that would be on a spindle with different colored ribbons, and you just choose which one. You can see the age a little bit on that side. There's nothing written on it, and a green. And then this one is 210 satin pattern, and it does say 50 yards. And I think all 50 is still there. So anyway, we've done the recipe box, the rooster, that and that, okay. Now, like I said, I was down there scratching around in picture frames. That's become something I look at and look for at a lot of the places that I go to, thrift stores, estate sales. I try to find the odd shaped ones, and I like the old gold ones or the brass ones, but I like them with a little detail, and they're hard to find. They're really hard to find. But this is an odd shape, it's 5x5. I have 2 of these that already have pictures in them. The picture's like 4x4. So I picked that one up. And then this one is a 3¼ by 4¼ I believe. And I didn't realize it until I got home. It's broken. This glass is broken. I might have done it, I don't know. But anyway, it's a smaller one. I have a couple of them that's slightly bigger, but this is one really small, so I picked that up as well. I'm sure I've got pictures that'll fit it. I'm trying to figure out if that was all that was in the house. I believe so. Out in the garage, there was, that was, some of the holiday stuff was out there, been picked through. What was left was more of the newer stuff. This I found, it did have a green cord on it, a red cord on it, but it does say Merry Christmas. It says made in India right there on a little tag, and it works. It really is a nice little bell. I did have a brass one that was so tarnished you couldn't see the Merry Christmas, and it fell apart. The handle of it was screwed into the little ringer, and it fell apart. And I didn't have the patience to try to put it back together, so I think it went away. But anyway, I thought it'd be nice just to sit around at Christmas, just sit in a little nook and cranny somewhere. This, I don't do a lot of decorating for July 4th, patriotic, summer. I know a lot of people say, oh, I have spring decor, summer decor. When I get tired of this, or whatever is over here, let me show you, whatever's over there, and I get tired of it, it'll change. And it's not necessarily a rhyme or reason, you know, what comes out. Now I did bring out the jadeite and the hazel atlas, crinoline and pink around springtime, but not really a summer decorator, just whatever strikes my fancy. And I usually don't decorate for patriotic days. Not that I'm against it. We have an American flag outside and a Marine Corps flag outside. My husband has them on a post out there. And it's just not in here. I don't do a lot of decorating in here. So these were together. I think I counted 11. And they were all rolled up together. And the remnants of what looked like a green rubber band was kind of stuck to one. That won't be destroyed properly. We don't throw flags in the trash around here. So anyway, there was a whole bunch of these, and I thought this is going to be an easy thing. You just stick it in you know, containers, and then when you're done, you can just go back and pluck them out. This is also for Christmas. You could do, I guess, around winter time. I don't leave Christmas stuff up during the winter and say it's winter. I just don't do it. I'm sure some people do. It's just not me. When Christmas is done, I'm done. It's time to put that stuff away. And there's a timer about to go off. This is, you can either make it a mini wreath, I guess, and decorate it that way, or you can use it as a candle ring. It's got it's kind of stiff there on this ring part, so find yourself a nice candle and put it on. I liked it because it didn't have a bunch of ribbons and colored balls and pine cones and all that on it. It's just greenery. So all of that, I think, the books and the rooster and the recipes and all of the odds and ends, I think it was $15. Now I went to the second estate sale, and this house, it was not great. They had it in the garage, and they had it in the living room, the kitchen, the back porch, and the backyard. And the backyard was mostly, I think they had about 9 or 10 just plastic totes out there with just lids off, just like free for all, go. And believe me, if it'd been old stuff, I would have been in heaven digging. But it wasn't. It was more the newer stuff. hold of that. Trying to get supper ready. We're having meatloaf, cabbage out of my garden, and corn. We have sweet field corn, corn on the cob. We're not eating it corn on the cob, but it's coming out of the field now, and it's in the grocery stores, bicolor. I think this was bicolor sweet corn. And for me, my husband has never liked corn on the cob. He doesn't like chewing it off the cob. He's weird. I used to love it, but I have a crown on my front tooth, a very expensive crown, and so it makes me nervous to think about eating corn off the cob. So I cut it off, and I usually cook it with some peppers and onions came out of my garden, and a little bit of bacon grease, maybe a tad of butter, a little salt and pepper, and we cook it that way. So that's going to be supper. So look forward to that. That sweet corn is going to be coming to your grocery store and Walmart pretty soon, if not already. Didn't get a whole lot at this sale. One of the things I'm really ashamed that I even picked up, it was the last thing. They had a lady in the garage. She was taking money. They had a lady in the other house taking money. There was a person in the backyard. Whatever you bought, you paid them. So when I was in the garage, I picked this up, and I thought it'd be for resale, and then I get it looking at it later, and no. You can probably see right off the bat what's the problem with it. Yeah, big hunk mixing out there, and there's little chips here on the lip. So probably gonna go in the trash. I could try to donate it to Goodwill or something, but it's not kind of stuff you want to sell. Like I was talking about the Christmas stuff out back, it wasn't that great. It was already either picked over, or it was just newer stuff that I didn't really care about. It did have a couple of, I had a moment or two what I thought it was going to be really nice older stuff, and not really. This was, I think there was 2 of these, or at least 2 of these. This one and one more I saw. The other one had a broken foot, didn't have all 3 of his little things down, and I should have cannibalized that one and found, because this one is missing a couple of its limbs here and one down here. It was covered in that fake polyester snow stuff, like the stuff that goes inside pillows, and I was picking that out, so that's what I'm gonna say. I just wasn't paying attention. I was too busy picking that out to notice that some of the limbs were missing. But I thought it'd be nice just to stick in a crock or something, a vase, where you can just stick it up for Christmas. This is nothing special. It's made in China. It's a flocked little deer. And again, probably something to stick in a nook and cranny around Christmas. This eye, I need to put some glue on it because that eye is wonky. It has fallen out, and I just stuck it back in there. And this, they used to do like corsages, right, at Christmas, old plastic corsages. And I believe this is what it was meant to be. I don't know that it was originally started out life as that, but they made it work. It is old plastic, but the pin is glued on, and it's glued on upside down. But that will more than likely be for sale. But that's probably the best thing that I got, that little sale. Anyway, left there, and I said I haven't been to this antique store in a long time. I picked this up, The Sound of Music. This was something we used to watch when I was a kid. It would come on TV certain times of the year. They would do specials, and The Sound of Music would come on. We don't have VCRs anymore. We don't, but we do have a DVD player. So I'm gonna break this out one night and watch it. Maybe when my husband's gone, because he didn't show a lot of interest when I told him about it. But it is brand new. I think it was $6 in someone's booth. The other thing I had, it was one of the favorite booths I like to look at, but it's expensive, so I don't buy a whole lot there. I went into it and I thought mistakenly that she had like a 30% off sale. I think it was another booth I was thinking about, but I picked this up and I thought $7. I didn't really want to spend $7 on it, but I thought if I don't get anything else, I'll go back and pick it up. Now I did have the DVD, but I said I'll go back and get it anyway. That was $6. This was $13. I don't buy Avon to collect, and I don't buy Avon to sell. Not that I have anything against it, I just don't do it. This, I did not realize that Avon put something out like this. And it does say Avon. Let me see if I can get it up there for you. Avon, and I believe it said 1986 underneath it. Anyway, it's a little brass pheasant. It almost looks like those dragons out of Game of Thrones, doesn't it? But I thought it would be cute just to stick again in nooks and crannies and little vignettes, whatever. So that was what I walked out of there at the antique store. Now I had to go to Walmart, and I was determined I got to cut this trip short because I had to get home so I could drop off a package at the post office and then go by the bank and cash a check. So I really got to get home, but to get to Walmart I had to pass Goodwill. And I wasn't strong enough. So I went in there, wound up getting Jason 2 pair of pants. He wore one to church this morning, and they were polos, tan slack polos. The other is a pair of Columbia's work pants, but they are really good shape. They just, and I didn't notice this when I bought them, the fastener, only half of it's there. So we're going to try to figure out if Nanny might have something to fix that. And those are two, I bought them, they were on sale. I think it was $4 a pair. $4 for a pair of polo slacks in perfect condition. So I got those two, and then this will be put up for fall, obviously. I like the colors of it. It's orangish, reddish, pinkish color. I don't know if it's coming off to you for that, but I really like the pumpkins, that textured fabric. I really like that. Now I'm not sure about these tassels. Kind of looks like Alfalfa's hairdo, but I don't know if I can get rid of them. I think they're built into the pillow. That's the only thing I have about this pillow. They had a few more fall pillows, and they were really pretty. If I were looking for fall pillows, which I wasn't looking, I just wound up with this one. But if I were looking for some, they had great candidates that day. This was $2.99. The others were, I think the others were the Lumbars except for one. And they were all the same price. That big one, it was a big square one. It was white, and it had gray pumpkins and like twine details. Really, really pretty. If you want, it had a neutral fall blend. And I think it was $4.99 or $5.99, something like that. It was really affordable. These I picked up for resale. I thought this one was in perfect working order, but it isn't. It's got a little bit of paint chip right there on the tip. But it does have its left-in sticker. I've had these in white before. And then this one is missing a little bit of paint here. And I think this is just worn off. I don't think it's chipped. Otherwise, they're great condition. Now, this one doesn't have a sticker. They did have a tray with them that's shaped like a tree, same colors, and it was probably a set, but it just didn't, I thought it was cheaper. I thought, well, maybe this isn't left, and maybe they just combined a set. Anyway, those will be for sale. And I think that's it for Friday. Then Saturday, excuse me for coughing on you. Saturday, we had to go do something for Jason's mom, and I had a box of stuff on the floor that needed to go to Goodwill. And of course, you're Goodwill, you're gonna drop something off. Why not go peruse, right? So I found these. If you can see over here, I've got some platters on the wall. So I got these just to store for later if I need to put anything else up, and I don't want to take those hangers off. If I just want to switch those plates out with something else, I'll just leave the hangers on them. But these fit 7 to 11 inch plates. They were 99 cents, both of them. And the color of the day was green, so it was half off, so 50 cents a piece. This cute little basket, and I have put a pint canning jar in it. It fits. I just think it's adorable, a little basket. You can put that jar in it. You can put your silverware in it. You can put a candle in it if you want. You can put flowers in it if you want. I haven't decided yet what I want to put in it. But it was only $1.99, and again, green, so half price, so that was $1. And I would have gotten out of there at just $2, but then I went to that last aisle that I was putting off. It was where the plastic stuff is. Someone donated their grandmother's notions cabinet, I think, sewing notions. There was different parts to sewing machines, different bags of seam tape and buttons. This bag, however, I saw something I really liked. It was $4.99. I get the whole bag. You know, you can't just take out what you want. $4.99 for the whole bag. You can't get up what you want and leave the rest behind, so I'm stuck with all this. This, I don't know what to do with. It's pretty, but it's not something I need. It's just in the bag. What I got it for was this. And I guess this is something that sewers kept around to do a lot of. I have the idea for this. I have these plain white pillowcases. I got these, I think these were old stock, and I bought them either the thrift store or an estate sale, I'm not sure. Took them out of the package, washed them, and they are nice, really nice, thick cotton. I believe they are Field Crest. Yeah, I think they're Field Crest. Anyway, they're really nice cotton, and I like them, but they're plain. I mean, they're just white. So I'm thinking here, if we can get Nanny or Jason to sew that around the edge of that pillowcase, it'll give it just a little extra pretty. Just a little extra pretty. So that was why I bought that bag. Now, this is more than enough, I think, to do both those pillowcases. However, again, you can't just take stuff out of the bag and say, okay, this is all I want, and leave the rest. There's more. A lot more. Look at all that. Pillowcases. However, again, you can't just take stuff out of the bag and say, okay, this is all I want, and leave the rest. There's more. A lot more. Look at all that. This actually, that satin looks in person, looks a little creamier than this to me. This looks more white and that looks a little creamier. So that's what I'm hoping to use on the pillowcases. However, I've got plenty of this to last me the rest of my life. I don't know what I'll do with this. I don't know if this is something people would buy on eBay. You let me know if that's something you would buy on eBay. I don't know. But I do want to put that around those pillows. And you just got to bite the bullet sometimes, I guess. Pay $5 for a bag of one little thing. So that is it with this haul. I hope you liked what you saw today. If you did, you know, leave us a comment. We love reading the comments. Thumbs up, subscribe, recommend us, whatever it is you do. Thank you for coming back to South Georgia Home. We hope to see you again.